Charmaine Pfender was 18 years old in August 1984. She was on a date with a man who pulled out a knife and attempted to rape her. As she struggled to protect herself, she reached for a gun, fired a warning shot, and tried to flee to safety. The man chased after her, still wielding his knife. Fearing for her own life, she shot again and killed him. At age 19, after a highly publicized and problematic trial, Charmaine was sentenced to life without parole. She has served over 30 years of that sentence. Although Charmaine fought for her life the night of the shooting, her trial attorney committed serious errors that deprived the jury of a fair opportunity to consider all the relevant facts and deprived Charmaine of her freedom. Charmaine's attorney failed to call critical character witnesses who knew her as a peaceful and law-abiding teenager with no criminal record or record of violence before the night of the shooting. Instead, the prejudicial, inflammatory, negative depiction of Charmaine made by the prosecution and in the press was the only narrative the jury heard. The sole witness for the case against Charmaine was Suat Erdogan of Turkey, a friend of the attempted rapist. He was present in the vehicle during the assault of Charmaine, but Suat's account of what happened that night changed dramatically each time he told his version. In police reports, Erdogan stated that Charmaine was struck in the face by his friend, a claim that later disappeared from his testimony both at the coroner's inquest and trial. In Erdogan's version of events, Charmaine pulled a gun on him and his friend without warning or motive. He also changed details to make his story sound more plausible and move guilt away from his friend to Charmaine. In addition, Charmaine's attorney ended the trial by asking for a fair verdict, but not an acquittal based on self-defense. Charmaine Pfender was found guilty of murder. As a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, Charmaine suffered physical and psychological trauma. On the night of the shooting, she acted in self-defense and in accordance with the emotional maturity of her age and her specific history. Rape survivors are very commonly disbelieved, mocked, stigmatized, and criminalized. Charmaine's attorney failed to assertively argue that her only choices were to be raped or to fight back, and expert witnesses were never presented to help the jury form vital context regarding the complexities of trauma, sexual assault, and mental health. Pennsylvania has the largest percentage of its prison population serving life without parole of any state in the country. In Charmaine's case, the sentence of life without parole carries a particularly sinister message. If a woman defends herself against sexual violence, the state will imprison her until she dies. Rehabilitation, forgiveness, redemption, transformation, and the ability to reconnect with families and communities in healthy and meaningful ways are not valued in Pennsylvania. The only hope for Charmaine to spend any part of her life outside of prison is for her case to be retried. Charmaine's ability to return to court and challenge her conviction largely rests on the ability to locate Suat Erdogan, the key witness against Charmaine who misled the jury with dishonest testimony. As Let's Get Free, the Women and Trans Prisoner Defense Committee launches the Free Charmaine Indiegogo fundraising campaign, we launch an international investigation to track down Suat Erdogan. Funds raised will be used to cover legal work, hire a private investigator, and ensure that research, consultation, travel, and labor costs are all covered. Meanwhile, at State Correctional Institution in Cambridge Springs, Charmaine has devoted herself to personal growth and service. She is housed in the Honors Cottage and has received the highest prisoner rating available to lifers. She is educated as a certified carpenter, already completing over 10,000 hours of training. She works diligently at her prison job, transcribing text into Braille. She gives back to the community by training service canines and knitting sweaters for children in need. She maintains close and loving relationships with her mother and extended family. In short, she is a grounded, compassionate person living as meaningful a life as possible despite the constraints of the state. Let's Get Free, the Women and Trans Prisoner Defense Committee, is a collective of individuals in Western Pennsylvania fighting for the liberation of women and trans-identified people sentenced to death by incarceration, and is connected to the broader movement for transformative justice and healing. Since 2013, we have conducted postcard campaigns, collaborated with prisoner justice groups, hosted letter writing nights, lobbied Pennsylvania legislature, conducted workshops, rallied and marched in solidarity to District Attorney Zappella's office, and elsewhere using our voices, literature, and beautiful banners to uplift our cause. We are raising $5,000 so that our committee can take the next steps to gather evidence and build an effective legal defense. We are committed to doing whatever work is needed, and we humbly ask you to join our quest for justice by donating to our vital funding campaign. If a financial contribution is beyond your means, we gratefully suggest that you can effectively support our campaign by sharing the details with as many individuals as you can reach.